So we're going to talk about phospholipase C, which is the enzyme target of the GQ pathway. So what we have shown here is the substrate and the products of this enzyme, phospholipase C, which we'll abbreviate PLC right here. Now, what we show here on the left is an example of a glycerophospholipid. Specifically, it's the phospholipid that's the target of phospholipase C. And as you can see, we have this glycerol backbone. Remember, glycerol would have OH groups in these spots, but instead we have these acyl groups, these fatty acids that are attached. And then we see this phosphate here connecting to a polar head group, it's alcohol, which is an inositol that has two phosphate groups on it. So what we would do if we were going to name this is we would call this phosphatidyl inositol 4,5-bisphosphate. And the common abbreviation for this is PIP2 or PIP2. Now what phospholipase C is going to do is when it's activated by the active GQ protein, we have G alpha Q bound to GTP, right? This is the active form of the G protein. That's going to activate this enzyme phospholipase C. What phospholipase C is going to do is going to hydrolyze the PIP2 at its glycerophospho bond. And so what we see here is we're going to have a cut and we're going to form two things. And we can see that we have our glycerol backbone with the two fatty acid groups, the two acyl groups. And so we're going to call this diacylglycerol. Which is a commonly abbreviated DAG. And this is hydrophobic. It gets stuck still in the membrane, right, because of those acyl groups. And then we see that we have this inositol that had two phosphates in the 4 and 5 position, and it retains this phosphate here in the 1 position. And so now what this is going to be called is inositol 1,4,5 trisphosphate, or IP3. Now this is because of the negative charges, this stays in the cytosol and can actually have effects that we will discuss in the GQ pathway video. And this is how phospholipase C works in terms of acting on its substrate, producing diacylglycerol and IP3, which have very important signaling consequences that we'll discuss.